asshole. I'm just an asshole. I don't have anxiety, and I'm thankful for that, but I want an excuse too. Because when I wake up, go to the store, don't like how someone looks, and I'm mean to them. That's what I'm just like, why are you spinning your vegetables in that plastic bag so many fucking times? Write that down, please. You're playing tetherball with your vegetables? Calm it down. They're like trying to get no air in the bag so they can do this weird tying system. You roping a calf? Fucking relax. Your broccoli isn't going anywhere except the garbage when you forget about it in the crisper for 2 weeks. So cool your tits, man.
Hi, welcome back to the Crash and Burn podcast. For those of you who are just tuning in, Crash and Burn is a comedy series I've been doing here at Acme Comedy Company for the past 11 years. We're gearing up for a Crash and Burn 12, and October 3rd through 7th. And as a way to introduce people to the concept, I'm inviting past participants onto the show. And with me today, the lovely and talented Chad Daniels is with me. Hey, Chad, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Past participant. My sister just started using Invisalign, and I would love to hear her say that with those things in her mouth. I was trying to think of words to get her to say with that Invisalign because it makes her sound ridiculous. So past participant would be a very good one. I'm writing that down.
I've always collected words that I think Tom Brokaw would sound funny saying. I actually think that's why George Bush invaded Fallujah, is because he wanted to hear Tom Brokaw say Fallujah. So I was watching your set. I have everybody's sets. I have everybody. Every
that's
comic,
great.
I've collected those as well. You just killed it, man.
I had a fun week. I was with Sarah Schaefer and Michael Palisak, and they're two just hilarious people. So you kind of, I wonder if sometimes people have a tendency to slack a little bit if they get a line that works, because what you're doing is you're starting on Tuesday or whatever it was, and with a brand new chunk that's never been on stage before, and then you're trying to move it forward to be a finished product by Saturday, so people are coming to the show Tuesday, maybe Thursday, and then Saturday again to see how the material has come along. And I wonder if sometimes, I know that I think normally if I got a line that worked, I'd be like, all right, that's good enough. But with Sarah and Michael, it was like, God damn it, these two just kept you working and moving. It was a really, really fun week to hang out with them, but also just to watch them do their comedy and make their stuff work. It was awesome.
Yeah, because everything started working. It started getting tighter and tighter every single night. I actually thought, and it's kind of funny. I remembered that week, but it kind of merged together. I thought it was Michael Palisak that did the thing about spinning the vegetable bag in the Whole Foods store. Do you remember that?
Oh,
bit?
sure. I do. Just talking about. Yes.
Taking out their aggression by just spinning that bag, trying to get every last bit of air out of it. And I always thought that was Michael when I remember that, because every time at the grocery store after that week, I think about that as I'm doing it. And for some reason, I thought it was Michael Palisak, but I just watched your Crash and Burn. It was you.
Yeah, it was me. And maybe he did something similar. I don't know, but I don't remember him doing that. I remember him just killing though. At the end of the week, just because he closed the show at the end of the week and just killed it.
Yeah. It's he had a Marie Cotto bit. You both had Marie. I think you both came on Tuesday with Marie Cotto bits. Is the first name Marie, last name Cotto? It's about sparking joy.
Yes, exactly right. Yep.
So you could pinpoint that on the calendar by when Marie Cotto was the big pop culture reference, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. When that came out on Netflix or whatever, I think it was Netflix.
How much did How much of your of the that 20 minutes do you think made it into the act?
I would say probably, man, I mean, I guess I'd say 12 to 15 of the minutes, but I would say all of the bits ultimately made it in, just
Uh-huh.
depending on if all the punchlines made the cut or not. So I think
Right.
every bit I was doing made it, but as far as like all of the lines, probably, probably 75%.
Uh-huh. It's so you still kept working on it after you left the Crash and Burn.
Yeah, I threw it right into my act. So when I took off on the road again, I just started doing that as part of my act and trying to figure it out almost. And I felt like I was neglecting the other parts of my act because I was in such a momentum with those particular bits that my brain was really locked into them. So I was trying to get them right. And so I'm sure I just put it on autopilot for the other part of my act and really hustled and got my brain moving for that stuff.
Uh-huh. It's you opened with and like I just watched it, so you're the only comic I can do this with. Is you open with, and I don't. It seemed more like a throwaway than anything else. You say it was from the nose down to the belly button. If people see it on Instagram and I edit it badly, they'll think it's
Oh,
Louis C.K.
yeah. So I guess that did not make it in, but yeah, that's true. I was wearing a black t-shirt and it looked, I bearded and all that stuff. So yeah, I saw a picture of myself from the nose to about my belly button. I was like, God damn, what are you doing?
Looking like a bad Louis C.K. edit. That was,
Yeah.
and then of course just pull down your pants if you're having a bad day, and just let the wind blow on your ass. It's
Oh man,
just
I gotta get that set. I gotta check that out.
yeah, you might not have even put anything into your act. Who knows? But it was just nonstop. I just looked at the Saturday show. I didn't bother looking at the
Okay.
Monday show. It's or the Tuesday show, but it was just solid. You just had them in the aisles. So.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to get that one from you.
So what have you got going on? I heard a rumor that there might be a special in the works, a new
Yeah.
special.
So way back in
How did,
December, I recorded two specials in Madison, Wisconsin on one night. So I just did the early show was one special and the late show was another special. I hate editing, so that was the perfect way for me to do it. There's nothing to cut. I'm putting them out as I recorded them, and they just finally got color locked, and so they should be out, within a month and a half. I'd say probably gonna see where we want them to land, and then do a little bit of press behind them. But yeah, so those specials will be coming out.
so there's two completely. Are you going to release them concurrently, or are you going to release one and then the other? Or
Yeah, I think I'm going to release one and then the other. So I'll release one and then hopefully use that to slingshot the other one with a little. Hopefully that first one gets me a little bit of momentum, so then I can use that to release the second one.
so they were two completely different hours.
Yeah, two different hours. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We in between shows we changed out the stage and added different lights, so it's a completely different look. I changed outfits, so it really does feel like two different specials. Other than I have one crazy beard hair that is sticking straight out in both of them. That's the only way you know that they were the same night.
No one. You didn't have a makeup person to pluck it for you.
Oh man, I did. That's what's frustrating. It was just crazy. It's wild and it just glistens in the light.
That's funny. What's the title? Did you have titles?
I do. So the first one is called Mixed Reviews, and the second one is called For Reels because I was just planning on chopping it up, and I'm so sick having to figure out the algorithm, all this shit we have to do on social media. So it's kind of a mocking that idea.
Huh. Oh, that's fun. It's so it's 2 hours of material. How long did it take you to write? Because you had a special. So you did it last September. You said, is that correct?
I did it in December. Yeah, December.
December, last December, and then how long after your previous special was that?
That was probably, let's see. Yeah, I think that came out in 2020. So let's say, oh, just maybe 18 months, something like that.
Wow.
20
Wow.
months
So
maybe.
you wrote two brand new hours in 18 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just sitting on a lot of ideas from COVID though, you know what I mean? From go, all that stuff. So I was sitting on a notebook full of ideas, and then I started bringing them out on the road, and then I was like, well, shit, this seems like an hour, and I still have all this other stuff in this notebook, so this is probably an hour. So um yeah, I just started fiddling with it, and then decided to play with it on the road a little bit to see what jokes worked best in what hour. And then I went to Cleveland, Ohio the weekend before I was in Madison to record them. And I just did it on the Saturday. I said, I'm doing 1 hour Saturday early show, 1 hour Saturday late show just to practice. And then the next weekend I went and recorded them. I'm telling you, I hate the amp up to recording a special. I hate the editing process. I just don't like it. So I just thought, what the hell? I'm just going to do it. And if some people, if a lot of people record 4 shows or 2 shows because sometimes a joke will fall flat. And I thought, if a joke falls flat, so be it. I'm just going to leave it in there. I don't care.
Well, it feels more real, I think, that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Did you have to self edit while you were doing it? Was there any, did you start going into another bit and say, oh no, that's the next show?
It was weird because I don't normally do this, but I was about 15 seconds ahead of myself in my head the whole time
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that I was going to say the phrase right. Because again, like, if you stutter or you do anything like that, or you chunk a word or whatever it is, I was planning on leaving it in there. I was not going to do anything. I wasn't going to come out afterwards and correct anything. So I was trying to stay just a little bit ahead of myself to make sure I could hear it before I said it. And I don't know, it seemed to work. I mean, I messed up a bunch of times, but then I made fun of myself for messing up and I left it in there. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Hmm. So you've watched them both since then? Is there any point when you watch them that you go, oh, I wish I would have done that? I goofed that one. Did it? Quite a bit,
Absolutely.
huh?
Or even, after you record. So this happens to everybody. After you record, you then write a line for the bit that you can no longer use because it's in this special. And you're like, oh, God damn it. I wish I would have done that line. So, it's taken quite a while to get these things ready. So I have been able to use some of the material still. So I've been able to use those lines, but as soon as they come out, then it's a trying out a new hour and trying to figure that out. So I think the frustrating parts were, or I was telling a story that I had told 50 times, where I go from Salt Lake City to San Jose, but instead, for some reason, when I was recording, I said Sacramento to San Jose, which there isn't a flight for that because they're like 45 minutes apart. You would drive it every single time. You could walk it, for Christ's sake. And so then I just ended up making fun of myself for not having my flight log and all that stuff. But um, otherwise, I just I made a deal with myself that I wasn't going to be, too grumpy about the results of this thing. I just wanted to try it and see how it worked. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it probably feels more real. It probably feels more like a comedy club experience for the viewer.
absolutely. I mean, it is the live performance. There is no scrubbing at all. So that's it.
Wow, that's great. And so they're still color correcting. You said, is that right?
Yeah, they just finished. So now
Okay.
um, I have some people looking at it, like my manager and stuff, and then we're going to figure out, where we're going to try to put them. Who knows? Maybe, it's one of those things now where, everyone used to go, oh, well, I can't sell it. I'll put it on YouTube. And they were kind of frustrated. But YouTube has become this incredibly luxurious safety net, I think. I mean, people are getting millions and millions of views off of YouTube because of the algorithm. And if it hits hard the first day, then they put it on a bunch of other people's, watching platform.
Right.
It's so if you don't, if anyone's listening that does comedy, and not that you asked, but if you don't sell your special to one of these streaming services, YouTube is it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, you can't. I understand. I just heard this. We have this year. We have Tommy Ryman. Derek Hughes is going to be doing a little.
Oh my God. I'm coming down to watch that for sure.
And Liz Mealy will be this year's. Will be this
Oh
year's
my
three
God.
participants.
I love all three of them. This is crazy. So, Tommy Ryman, I've known forever and ever and ever. Liz, I met on the road. We've worked together a bunch of times, and she is one of my daughter's favorite comedians.
Oh wow.
And so we've talked back and forth, and Liz was kind enough to send Olivia, my daughter, like a fan package with
Oh wow.
stickers and albums and signed things. And then Derek Hughes, we watched on AGT, America's Got Talent, and it's the only time we've ever voted for anybody on America's Got Talent was Derek Hughes. So we logged on and made an account and all that bullshit. And then Derek, he did a fundraiser for Acme during COVID. He did a show on
Mm-hmm.
Zoom, and we watched that. And we saw him at the airport one time, and he was kind enough to stop and talk with my daughter for a long time. And man, this is what a killer show that is going to be. I'm serious. I work that weekend, but I'm coming down before I take off. I will definitely watch
Oh
that show.
oh cool. Cool. Thanks for that. It's yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. This is the first time we've had somebody work on something besides just comedy. It's
Yeah,
he thought he could only work on comedy, but everyone's saying no. You got to do a trick. You got to
I think
work on
so
a
too.
trick. We want to.
I mean, I hope
Yeah.
so. I got to tell you something. I hope the day on there he fucks it up. I hope that because I want to see what's going on. We went to dinner with him one time out in LA, and he had some cards with him, and he was doing these card tricks. And it's not like this pompous magician, like, hey, I've got card. Like he does that. He's so good at it, and you can
Right.
never tell what's going on. Man, this is going to be exciting. I can't wait to
Yeah.
watch him work on a magic trick.
Yeah. And it's Liz told me, and as far as because she's got a special that she's doing in, any day now, depending on when this releases. She's recording
Sure.
her special, and she said she can't sell it until the writers' strike is settled. It's have you been
Oh,
informed of
interesting.
that?
I have not been informed of that. I guess I didn't realize that was a thing since comedians don't get writers royalties. Anyways, that's a conversation for another podcast. But no, but I guess I didn't know that would affect it. So maybe I'll have to call her after I hang up with here.
Yeah, she said that it's if the strike isn't settled by the end of the year, that she's going to do what you do. She's just going to put it on YouTube. So that's
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that, and then then you own it. You don't no streaming service gets the audio rights, so you can put it up on Pandora and Sirius XM and Spotify and Apple Music and all those places as well. So it is good to own your stuff and to not necessarily give it away for less than you would make if you're talking about royalties plus everything else. So I don't know, it's a tricky situation. So the idea behind my specials were just to get more butts in seats to sell more tickets. So I
right.
think it depends on what you're looking to do, right? I think most comedians think that way, but I'm sure there are some that want the payday from it, and just depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
No, the money isn't. The money isn't why. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh yeah, I got into comedy for the money.
Yeah, best of luck to you.
Yeah, no, it's not what we do. We go in there because we want 300 people to love us at the same time for an hour. That's
Yeah,
I think that's the root of our existence. That's why you have these guys that are comics that are billionaires from their television shows, and that they still want to go out. They
right.
still want to
Absolutely. Yep.
they it's actually it's funny. It's there's Finding Forrester. There's a line that's always cracked me up, and it's Sean Connery goes, he goes, "Why do you think authors do book signings?" He goes, "I don't know, sell books? Nah, they do it to get laid."
Yeah, I bet that's right.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's a lot of reasons why comics go on the road as well.
It just might be.
So you filmed these last December. How's the next special going? How's
The next hour's coming along. Yeah, it's about so my daughter went to college last year, and this next one is going to be about becoming an empty nester and the struggles, but then also the joys. I didn't know there were going to be any joys, and it turns out there are joys. So it's just kind of the figuring that out. You know, I got myself one of these new fancy relationships people are always talking about, and so you know, that's been kind of fun too, because before, even though I was in a relationship, it, you know, always took the back seat to parenting. And so I know that wasn't fair to that person, of course, but that's just kind of how it had to be. And now that both kids are out of the house, the relationship is you know, on the forefront and stuff like that. So it's just kind of talking about that stuff, but it's interesting to get into because it's almost like a therapy session for myself when I'm writing out this stuff. It's like I'm journaling for a therapist or something. I don't know, but it's been fun. It's been fun, and I think my favorite part about doing this material is when I can see a couple in the crowd and one of them will elbow the other one. I enjoy that quite a bit.
because that indicates that
I think it's like
that they relate to the joke.
Yeah. See, we're not the only ones.
That's you,
yeah.
honey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's funny. It's the crash and burn. A lot of the stuff you were working on was the divorce. So it's kind of it's kind of coming full circle from death to rebirth.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So go ahead.
No, go for it.
Aside from the special, have you got anything else coming up that you wanna tell people about?
I'm just going to be touring, so you know, of course, I'll be at Acme the first weekend of March, unless I decide to film. So this next special that I'm doing is going to be my 10th recorded hour, and so I kind of want it to be, you know, we always say specials, but I don't know if they're that special because everybody's doing them. So, but I do want my 10th one to feel kind of special. So Lewis and I were talking about maybe putting that in a theater in Minneapolis, but I'm normally at Acme the first weekend of every March, and so hopefully it'll be around then again, and just kind of on the road. But ChadDaniels.com, you can see where I'm going to be.
Uh-huh. And the word special is no longer special. It's
correct. Yes,
it's more equated to special ed or special needs.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's ChadDaniels.com. Check that out. And Crash and Burn will be again October 3rd through 7th. Derek Hughes, Tommy Ryman, Liz Mealy. Thank you so much, Chad, for coming in and spending a little bit of time with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. And I will see you October 4th.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I'm coming down to that show.
Okay. Great. That'll be the show we sell out. No, Chad's going to be here. He said.
Yeah,
no,
right. Yeah.
He's gonna be... yeah.
I'm sure you
bring those fan packs. Thanks again. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.